KL Extraordinaire Allen. I am the fashion director for Fame the Experience magazine, as well as a celebrity couture designer.
Hi, my name is William Floyd. I am a creative specialist.
My name is Rodney Simpson, editor-in-chief of Fame the Experience magazine.
My title with Fame the Experience magazine, man, I think to say the least, I really wouldn't even necessarily like coin a title for myself with the magazine. I've done many different things with the magazine as far as the day-to-day tasks, whether it's web design, whether it's, putting things together for a set, whether it's, helping out with fashion, whether, just, I really just enjoy the overall process as far as how it comes together. So, I'm really a partner in the magazine and anything that requires, my attention that I need to focus in on, that's kind of what I do.
Well, Fame the Experience magazine was created based off of an idea that fashion, art, and music all play a part in entertainment. My background is in entertainment, so I thought that, encompassing those elements together would make a good outlook for a magazine, as well as it would be a good way to promote independence.
When Rodney came to me with the idea to create Fame the Experience magazine, I thought it was a great concept, being that it emphasized on fashion, art, music, and education. Being that I was an expert in fashion and Will being an expert in art and Rodney in music, I thought it would be a great concept to actually not only expand our brands, but actually collaborate our brands into making one genius idea that could take over the magazine and print world.
Man, Fame the Experience magazine and the overall creation of it for me was really a dream come true. With having a background in graphic design, graduated from the Art Institute of Atlanta, and also have an associate's degree in fashion and interior merchandising. The magazine actually gave me a platform to express myself through visual stills, while at the same time developing a network amongst people that I've already built relationships with, and continuing to build relationships outside of my day-to-day reach. So it really, like, just the overall concept and being able to be involved with the magazine and the overall creation of it from as intimacy. It's been great.
What is my vision for the magazine? My vision is to somehow influence culture in fashion, art, and music.
Fame the Experience magazine. I'm real big with branding, so you're gonna hear Fame the Experience magazine probably 10 times throughout this documentary. But the overall vision for Fame the Experience magazine, I see it being an iconic magazine that focuses in on independent talent. From the youth, going all the way down to 5, 6 years old, all the way to someone who, may be 65, 70 years old, who reaches a demographic that kind of connects a creative world with a world that wants to create but doesn't necessarily feel that they can create.
The goal for me with Fame the Experience magazine is creating a magazine that is global. I want to create an iconic magazine that will be looked at as the go-to Bible to learn how to be the best in fashion, the best in art, the best in music, while educating our readers. We're putting veterans inside of the magazine along with up-and-coming artists, and we're giving you those two different sides of the spectrum. So we have one person that's actually telling how they made it in the industry, and then we have some that are showing you the grind on how they will be the next best in their profession?
My experience working with Will and KL goes back to the first show that I did with both of these young men in 2011. I was putting together a Fame the Experience show here in Atlanta and reached out to different designers. I mean, the funny thing is that Will and I had actually met on Twitter years ago, but we never really linked up, and then, just to make a long story short, we both had different contacts, that were like right in between us. So if this person would have made a phone call or I would have made a phone call, then we would have been working together in 2010, but I just believe that everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. Will is really an easy person to work with. He doesn't really get upset a lot, but when he does, it's way over the top. Anybody who knows that know that. I'm the same way.
If we are working on a subjective thing here, this is a very much so subjective thing. You can't be so, like, if I'm working on, like I've been working on, I done worked on 3 or 4 damn different covers.
Right.
I'm still working. I don't give a goddamn how long I got to do it to change it. If you say, oh, I don't like this one little thing, I'm gonna fucking change it. Because obviously it's not just one person that's feeling that way.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
It's more people.
Yeah, it's bigger than me.
But all in all, man, Will and I, we haven't really had any major breakdowns, not major. Now working with KL, it's a different story.
But the thing about it is, people need to stay in their lanes. Like coming in and telling somebody, "Oh, this is what it need to be. This is what I feel." Like I'm all for your opinions, but when I have something mapped out, don't fucking say shit to me. That's how I fucking feel, and I'm being real as fuck. If that's how it's gonna be, leave me the fuck alone. And I'm serious because I'm serious about my fucking vision. And just like you have a vision about something, I'm very considerate about taking in everybody's critique. But don't change shit around after I done mapped it out. Got my people doing shit, and then now y'all telling me, well, this, that, and the other, and then talking about time.
Right.
Don't do that shit. That's not cool. Okay. That's not cool at all. It pisses me off. I'm dead ass serious. That's one thing that'll get me turned the fuck up is when I map something out, somebody come and say something completely fucking different, start changing shit. We don't already start working on something. Then y'all talking about time.
KL is one of those people, has great intentions. He knows what he wants. He has a vision. And over the year that I've been working with him, I've come to understand that a whole lot better. In the beginning, I thought that, everything would be simple. Similar to work with other people, but KL is a totally different type of person. I mean, he's one of those people that's so creative that his creativity takes over everything. When you kind of have to fall back and just let him do what he do. And I respect that as a man, as a businessman, and as a brother. Because in reality, we are all brothers. So, I mean, working with them it's really been exciting. I mean, it's something I wouldn't take back a minute of.
Man, the partnership with Fame and Experience magazine, it's been for me it's been a great experience. I'm a very optimistic person. We've had many different scenarios and different situations. Everything hasn't been peachy, but my experience with Rodney Simpson, founder of Grassroots Marketing Consulting. He's a great marketing mind or whatever. Of course, he has tons and tons of experience with music or whatever. Working with him, I've gained a whole nother perspective on music and that relationship is never ending and always continuously growing because we have that open, dialogue amongst each other and, just a great guy, man. I definitely don't have any negative things to say about him. KL, man, that dude is definitely a creative genius. Like hands down, point blank period. There's not very many people that I've met over, my time here on this earth that are as creative as him?
Working with Rodney Simpson. I met Rodney on one of his Fame tours. He invited me to be a designer in his show. That is actually where I met Will from King Pop Designs and Pop Culture Clothing, which at the time, during that fashion show, I couldn't help but notice Will's brand standing out next to mine. And I don't know, the elephant in the room was like, okay, those two designers right there are probably gonna be like somebody you wanna get to know. So that's where I originally met those two at. Working with Rodney is I call him a connector. He's a salesman. You know, if you want an idea, you want to sell it, you go to Rodney. He's gonna make sure that he connects you with those people to put it together. Yeah, we had our clashes along the way, but I think it's just a matter of us being strong business minded, that you put all those together and it's like you're gonna have some headstrong people. But at the end of the day, we come together, you know, we make things happen. Will, on the other hand, his vibe is similar to mine. We can be very laid back at times, but when we get upset, we clash and we go at it. But I think that's all true artists and visionaries. We're strong-minded, strong-willed. So working with them has been an amazing experience, because at the end of the day, no matter what happens, no matter if the sky is falling, we're still gonna deliver a product that looks so polished and so clean that you wouldn't even realize that we went through so much to make this product.
Our first cover shoot was really an adventure. I mean, because you had, of course, like I said, you know, we had KL. You had KL and his vision, and Will and his vision, and me and my vision. You know, you got three visionaries. So, you know, it was some disturbances. It wasn't that bad, because in the end we kind of worked it out, but it was fun.
It's gonna be changed though, cause like look what I'm doing, like as far as just even the cover work. I'm being very open to other people's ideas, and I'm changing it. So, and that's very much so my lane.
But the cover
That's
is still
very much so my lane.
You do.
That's very much so my lane. But I'm just hear me out on this though, because I'm not being defensive.
But Will, did I ask you anything about the cover? Did I ask you anything? You brought me over there and you said this is what I was.
Because it matters. Because if I don't get your opinion, I did ask you.
I didn't just come over there. It doesn't.
Because look, because at the end of the day, it don't matter how. It doesn't matter how we communicate.
Don't just come up there and say like,
it doesn't matter how we communicate.
If I ask for your,
if we communicate, communication is communication. It doesn't matter how we communicate.
The first thing is that you're not gonna hear what he's saying. He's not gonna hear what you're saying.
Wait, both of y'all, because I'm a respectful person.
Listen,
I don't walk around and tell people, give people opinions. I ask people. If I ask you for your opinion,
at the end of the day, he's gonna have to accept that, just like Will, and I'm gonna have to accept that when people say shit to me. So that's it. We're just talking about it.
Yeah, man. You see how when I'm working on a damn cover, like it's really at the end of the day, it's really ultimately, all right, you get me the cover images, and I put it together. That's not really how it should go, but it hasn't been going that way, and I'm okay with that though. That's the thing, I'm okay with it, because at the end of the day, it's only gonna push the idea to a higher level. But you gotta open your mind to get to that level though. Man, the cover with Chantal and Lamar, man, honestly, you know, coming right out of the gate, I mean, like with the mag and starting, you know, fresh with the cover, I was really impressed with the fact that, you know, without even like, you know, having any kind of issue out yet, or, you know, have developed any kind of publication, that KL Allen had the amount of influence to be able to reach out to someone who is not even a local. She wasn't here in Atlanta at that time. You know, she's here now here in Atlanta, but at the time, you know, she was, I want to say, still in Jamaica or Miami. You know, and had her come in. You know, we had hair and makeup. You know, Natalie, she did a great job. Ronisha, you know, she did a great job. You know, KL, you know, of course, did his thing with styling, you know, both talents, and it was truly something that I knew from the jump that we were gonna make an impact on, you know, the market here in Atlanta, mainly because of how we set ourselves up right away. You know, because we didn't even, you know, there's a lot of different magazines here in Atlanta that do several different things, but you know, we set ourselves up, you know, as the next influential magazine, the next go-to magazine in Atlanta that people can rely on creativity, you know, with this shoot. So yeah, the first shoot was awesome.
The cover shoot with Chantal and Lamar Ladd, I think, was an amazing photo shoot, which actually displayed our talents. Chantal Zaki is a great friend of mine. We work together on several projects. She's actually on a reality show that we're filming here in Atlanta. And I decided to call her up because she has that international appeal. And because she has that international appeal, I thought, why not choose her for the first cover? We can enhance we can start off strong by basically going international rather than thinking local. And then being that Rodney grew up with Lamar Ladd and he was on VH1 making Mr. Right, I thought it would be perfect. Two models, you know, as the introduction to our magazine. So the shoot itself, it was pretty much my vision, Rodney's vision, and Will's vision. We had to pretty much collaborate our thoughts and our ideas. And because we're so passionate in our craft, we bumped heads a little bit, but it didn't stop us from delivering a finished product that just looks great to me.
I think that from a fashion standpoint, Chantal would kind of epitomize, you know, beauty. I mean, she's a very pretty girl. I mean, I hands down, you know, everybody that sees the cover is like, wow. And the whole aspect of her, you know, pushing the fashion realm, as well as she was Miss Jamaica Universe the year prior. So I think that would be a good promotional and marketing tool for us to use, as well as, you know, the choosing of Lamar was sort of my decision, or something I came up with simply because we kind of grew up together. His father was my basketball coach in high school, and he had just finished doing Making Mr. Right for VH1, and it was the whole level of marketing promotion from a celebrity standpoint. You know, they had some form of celebrity, so that's what you want to do. You know, they were really nice. You know, they weren't trying to charge us or anything. They could have, but you know, I really enjoyed that process also.
Some of the features in the magazine that I've seen, we had a wide variety of features in this first issue. We had anywhere from music veterans to Nightmares of a Model, which basically explains how what the models go through basically to make it in this industry. We also had many different elements from soldiers from Afghanistan writing and telling us basically what it is that they wanted to portray.
Man, the features in the magazine, when it comes to features, you know, I am the person that shies away from actually, like, you know, specifics with names. But what you can expect, you know, with features in the art section, which is the section that, you know, I would say curate, is you can expect anything that's odd, anything that doesn't seem like, hey, you know, this fashion art magazine should cover. We're gonna be really alternative, you know, whenever it comes to imagery, whenever it comes to the overall messaging. You can expect a lot of heavy font usage. You can expect like different fonts. You can expect a lot of typography. You know, just different elements within the overall makeup of what we do. So
We have some really good features in the magazine. One we really couldn't do anything with, which was our music feature, which I actually sat in on the interview was with Daryl Simmons, one of the original creators of LaFace Records here in Atlanta, with L.A. Reid and Kenny Babyface Evans. It was a mix-up in the editing process, so we weren't allowed, you know, to use the actual interview in the magazine. But I mean, it was really enlightening to sit in on that interview with him and Miss Jaleesa Berry. You know, learn all the facts about how music really, you know, developed in Atlanta from the ground up, from organically. Similar to what we're doing with the magazine. You know, we're doing something that it's pretty much never been done before, you know, from the standpoint that we're taking, which is art and fashion. Other features in the magazine would be producer Selassie Deluse, a Ghana. He's originally from Ghana. Another one of my implants. He was an intern and producer, engineer with me when I worked for 581 Entertainment, which is the record label started by Brian Brand and Casey, the twins, and Jagged Edge. Selassie is just dope. That's why I thought he would be a great feature for Music is Global, which is what we do in the magazine from a global standpoint with music. We give producers, songwriters, and models an opportunity to show their talents and gifts, or their creative side.
One particular feature in our first issue is a great designer and philanthropist, Bernard Bowie. I've been working with Bernard Bowie, I would say, about a year. I actually met Bernard Bowie through the fashion circuit of doing many different fashion shows with each other. And just meeting him, he's an activist for the community. He's actually putting together projects that will actually make awareness of certain situations. He has a boxer brief line. It's called Lifesaver Campaign, because his brand is based around the whole particular lifesaver. So with his campaign, there's a condom that's actually built inside of the boxer briefs. And you know, you buy a pair, of course, you'll never be in that situation to where you're having unprotected sex. So I think shedding light on designers like that and different, you know, awareness projects is kind of something that will help and build the community. So we strive to put artists in our magazine like that will touch those different demographics and touch those different subjects that the public doesn't usually acknowledge.
Man, fashion. When you think not only just at Atlanta, but when you think fashion, period, we want you to look at Fame the Experience magazine, and we don't want you to think nothing else but, man, this is a high-end fashion, art, music, and education magazine. But man, everybody in this magazine is just sharp. They you can tell that they have focused in on the lapel, they focus on the brim, they focus on the collar, they focus on every little detail to make the overall editorial or the article or the cover the most immaculate, well put together magazine that you just like, man, I really enjoy looking at every single issue.
Fashion, woo! Everybody loves fashion. Um, the fashion aspect of the magazine is something that Will and KL have a real good handle on. And over the past year, I've gotten a better handle on it. You know, I really love all the aspects of fashion. I think that fashion really dictates the music to an extent. They all kind of, you know, walk hand in hand when it comes to one or the other. The shoes that we did were very creative from the standpoint of we didn't just, you know, stand in front of a camera and take a picture. You know, you had Will throwing in all types of objects and coins and painting background and putting up 10 fences and us dragging bathtubs from around the block sticking. I mean, it was really creative. I think that we really got our creative side on when it came to the fashion section of the magazine.
Fashion. Oh man, fashion is like my wife. Fashion, I'm married to fashion basically. I love anything fashion, high fashion, urban fashion, you name it. I think fashion in itself is an art, it's an expression. I think there are no rules for fashion. A lot of people try to define fashion and you know what's in and what's not and this and that, but fashion is something that you can't learn. It's something that you have to kind of be born with. I believe fashion is very influential in the world. It's the fashion industry is $1 billion industry. I mean, think about it, clothes, what you wear defines you. So with that, I always strive to create something that is different when it comes to fashion.
Art is Will's lane. I mean, Will is really creative when it comes to the art aspect of the magazine, and his vision, you know, like I said, 3 visions, and I respect everyone's vision. But over the 10 months, I respect it more because I understand the creative process of it. My understanding of art is not really that deep. You know, I took art in college and I hated it and I gave it the fuck away. I gave it up. I don't really like art. But visually, I think that Will is really getting the point across that art is really important. He's bringing importance, well, we're bringing importance of art back. You know, I mean, I see a lot of people posting things since we began our journey where art is involved with fashion. So in reality, we setting trends. We're doing exactly what we set out to do from the beginning, which was change the climate or how people view fashion, art, and music and how they all walk hand in hand.
Man, with the art part of Fame the Experience, man, you really will have to just kind of just sit back and really do your homework. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to really sit back and say, you know, I like this composition. I like the way this was put together, but what was the idea behind it? Why did they do that? Why did they, you know, put that painting right there? Why did they have that piece of art right there? Why did they have those dancers wearing those particular gowns? Why did they, you know, structure, you know, the video like that? Like, you know what I mean? There's so many different aspects of art that, you know, not only myself, who's, you know, curating the quote unquote art section, but my business partner, you know, Rodney, business partner KL, like their art forms just intertwine all with the overall quote unquote art of it all, man. It's just everything that we touch is just gonna be art. You won't have to, you know, rely on anything outside of that.
Art to me is, like I said, art is an expression. It goes hand in hand with fashion and music. Some of the things that you can create through art sculptures, paintings, anything. I mean, anything can be looked at as art if it's an emotion or it's an expression. It's creative, being a creative. Um, Working with Will, he's shown me so many elements of art that I never knew existed. Especially doing some of the photo shoots for Fame the Experience, we would create sets right in front of our models. We would come, not basically what I'm trying to say is we would come with an idea. Okay, we're gonna shoot some, commercial shots on a gray background, a white background. But then while we're on set, we would be like, oh, you know what? It'll be a dope idea if we pull this tub inside, or we, put up this metal tin background, and we will pretty much build these sets right in front of everyone's eyes. And I think that's art. I think that is an expression, that is a gift, that is a talent, that's something that you can't study. That's something that, you can study, but that's something that you can't teach someone to do. You can't teach someone how to be creative. They just have to have it or they don't.
Is the air real? 'Cause I can't even touch that.
Music, my baby. Not only am I the editor-in-chief of the magazine, but I act more as an editor of the music section, meaning that I really go hard on what I feel should be represented in music. I'm not a big radio listener, so everything that I choose to deal with on the music side for the magazine is going to be focused on bringing exposure to independence. Just like with the Music is Global section, with Selassie, we focus on the independent producer. I mean, Selassie has produced major artists, but he's more of an independent.
Music, man. Whenever it comes to music with Fame the Experience, you gotta think, independent. You gotta think like, wow, these guys have really, went around city to city, and actually embedded themselves within the culture of that city and found the artists, the musicians that, have made such an impact on a local level, you know what I mean? But they have an international mindset and an international outlook on what they portray and what they project with their music. So, man, with the music, just expect nothing but greatness.
Music is global, as Rodney Simpson would say.
Rodney, how did this go from being a Southeast tour to moving overseas to the UK?
Well, it was more or less, I'm always thinking big, so, I try to jump outside the box every once in a while. And I noticed that everybody's starting to do, tours. So I was like, let's try to take this thing, to another continent. Why not the UK?
Now introduce Ishmael for us and explain exactly what he does.
Ishmael, man, he does a lot. I mean, he's a manager. Mostly he runs a PR company called The Connect over in the UK. They work with a lot of artists here in America as well as over in England. And I'm sure he can tell you probably some in Africa and Italy and everywhere else. But I know for a fact that, I got real good representation over there.
Music is something that connects to everyone's emotions. I believe in putting music into your daily activities, or whether it be fashion or whether it be art, you can draw inspiration from it. We use a lot of music influences on our photo shoots to get the models ready, to set the scene. It's just something that's an expression.
The educational portion of the magazine is based off of different programs that Will, Kale, and myself have put in place. Will and I came up with some ideas over the summer to educate and teach kids, about fashion, art, music, as well as Kale was involved in those processes also. We didn't get to fully move forward on them based off of time constraints and some other things that we were doing with the Perfect Culture movement, which was a part of the educational and bringing the whole community of fashion and music and art together here in Atlanta. Really based off of bringing our creatives together. That was the goal for that. But since then, I've started to do what I call the Road to Fame, which is a one-on-one, I would say, with different industry professionals at different universities. We just finished up AIU a couple of weeks ago. We're getting ready to do Georgia Tech in March of this year. So education is really going to be a big part of what we do.
Man, whenever it comes to education, with Fame the Experience, you know, of course, Rodney, you know, started the road to fame, you know, working with different universities. Here at Royal Flush Studios, you know, we'll be doing art seminars, you know, different things, you know, with graphic design, photo editing, video, you know, whatever the case may be. Like, we want to not only, you know, entertain you with creativity, we want to show you how it's done. You know what I mean? So like, when you're involved with what we have going on, don't expect someone just like, you know, do this. Nah, we have this open, you know, this open door policy whenever it comes to learning and educating not only ourselves, but people that we're involved with and people that we look to grow the company with.
The educational aspect of the magazine is pretty much educating the readers on how to, you know, get to this point. Basically influencing veterans in the industry along with independent talent. And it's actually showing you that Fame experience, like, you know, how they, you know, got to A to B, and it's showing the newcomers and how they will get from point A to point B.
When we first started, when we sat down in the initial stages of putting together the magazine, we focused in on, all right, what sections, how do we want to lay out this magazine, you know, and we had, you know, so many different ideas that were thrown out there, but Bard is one of those ones that, you know, just stuck. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you have those moments in life where, you know, you came up with an idea that's not only gonna be effective, but it's gonna be influential to the overall mindset of the voice of the magazine. And I would say that out of everything that we've done, the Bard concept is gonna be the most, the thing that about our magazine that you're gonna be like, oh, that's Fame the Experience magazine. You don't even have to look at a cover. You don't even have to, you know, look at a vlog. You don't have to look at, you know, any of those things. Like, it's gonna sell itself mainly because the way we do fashion, the way we do art, the way we integrate those elements, Bard says everything about it.
The actual concept for the first Bard shoot was puppet on a string. You know, we put a bathtub with a tin roof in the back with pots and pans hanging from the tin to kind of symbolize that you could put, fashion is gonna stand out. You can put it in the background like that and it's still gonna jump right out at you. While we were shooting it, I think we were kind of developing ideas along the way with the whole exorcist concept that came about with the girl, with the young man creating a sort of an exorcism in the bathtub. So if you actually looked at the pictures from the Bard shoot, you would see like he's holding the Bible and he's got his hand on the forehead, like, you know, like he's performing an exorcism. I think that kind of gives everyone a real great idea of what we're doing creatively, because that, you don't just come up with that, you know, just all the time. Those things have to kind of like, you have to see what's going on and then put the picture together. And I think we painted that picture very well.
Bard. Bard is a monthly editorial that comes out with each issue of Fame the Experience. It's a highlight. It was influenced by my first idea to create a magazine actually called Bard, the exhibition of fashion, music, and art, which is crazy when Rodney came to me with the idea to come up with Fame the Experience. So I decided that we should do this editorial called Bard that will pretty much highlight an independent designer that is over the top. Basically something that is outside of the norm, outside of the trend, incorporating of course our key elements, art and music, and of course fashion. So our first Bard editorial was centered around ropes and pretty much this whole puppetry image, as far as the ropes defining the artist being barred, as being banned from expressing their creativity. So the ropes would kind of interplay as them breaking free and pretty much being able to highlight their creativity with no rules or no boundaries.
The Bard concept of the magazine, in all honesty, I think that we really haven't touched the surface on the Bard yet. I think that KL, Will, and myself are gonna come up with something for the next, probably for the April issue for the Bard section, that's gonna kill everybody. The first one was cool, you know, the bathtub and the puppet on the strings and all of that. But I think that we can go so much further with that. I mean, I'm talking about, you know, maybe some, and this is not trying to be funny, but some naked girls with rubber band, with Band-Aids over their nipples, and, you know, Bard can be so much, you know, from having somebody dressed like Pinhead. I mean, we try to push the creative envelope so far that, you know, nobody else will be able to do what we do. The Bard editorial was one of those things that we tried to create to show you guys that.
Man, when it comes to the models that we have been able to work with, you know, man, we, you know, work with, of course, Lindsay, we work with, you know, Janae, we work with Chantel, we work with Desiree, we work with, man, just a list of models, man, just all gorgeous, young lady, handsome young man. We are developing artists. We're developing models or whatever. Like we're not just, you know, having them do a shoot with us and not helping them push and promote their brand or whatever. So like when you work with Fame the Experience magazine as a model, expect to, you know, have your brand uplifted and taken to the next level, whether it's you want to do, you know, New York Fashion Week, whether you want to do London Fashion Week, whether you want to just do print, whether you want to, you know, be a brand ambassador, you know, for a company, whatever the case may be, we help models develop their overall look, feel, you know, personality, all of that stuff. We're not just a magazine that just prints, we develop.
The models in the magazine, I really enjoyed working with a lot of the models. I mean, some more than others, I must say, you know, because we only worked with them once. It wasn't anything negative. It was just that schedules permitted. Desiree, Lindsay, I mean, I don't want to say a whole bunch of names because I can't remember everyone's name. I don't want to make anyone feel like they're smaller than the other one. But I say Desiree and Lindsay because they have been pretty much in every shoot, from the first shoot actually to the last shoot that we did to prepare to create this documentary. You know, and it's been a lot of people who have come along that we really appreciate. You know, from a model standpoint, from Alex, the Mad Russian. God, man, so many. I'm sorry, I just can't remember all of the models, but I just want to give a special thanks to all the models that participated in the creation of this first magazine.
The models in the magazine, I think, are dope. They've been around since the beginning. Certain ones that we have that are pretty much our fame girls, as we would call them, they've been with us since the first photo shoot to the last. We have Desiree Sawyer, of course. She's also a brand model for my line. Lindsay, Janae, Virginia Lynn, Asia model. So we try to be cultural when it comes to choosing models. We try to be diverse and give you a plethora of different ethnicities. And you know, I think we've chosen the best candidates that will represent our publication.
The glam team, the people who worked behind the scenes and did the makeup, the hair, the MUA, another term I've learned since working on this magazine because I had no idea what it meant before. Man, so many names. I just can't remember everyone's name, and I don't want to leave anybody out. I'll just say thank you to everyone on the Glam Squad.
Fame the Experience magazine is embedded in the community. You know, the overall effect that you know we're having on the community. I ain't even told my partners this, man. We got information, stuff just, you know, rolls in, you know, daily. We actually are working, or will be working with, you know, some, you know, teams, on this show that they're developing, where the teams are actually going to be hosting it. They're going to be actually hosting the show, but they'll have influential, you know, people in different fields coming out and having them, you know, answer different questions that the youth have, like that teens have, and bridging that gap between adults and teens.
This magazine actually was kind of derived off of the community, being that education is so strong and so influential. Doing something that can actually help our community by educating our future, you know, generation to aspire to be, you know, an artist, a musician, or a fashion designer, or, you know, anything else outside of that. We're educating our community on how to get to those levels. You know, we're letting them know it's okay to want to be, you know, an artist, or it's okay to want to be a musician. It's okay to want to be a fashion designer. You don't have to go the traditional route. So I think this will help the community to be more free-spirited, more thinkers, you know, more creative. You know, it'll help them to get into touch elements with their self that they never thought that they would be able to do.
Our market in this business is really, you know, it's really art and fashion focused, you know, with a splash of music and a big part of education. So I feel our market is wide open to where we can go with the magazine. It's not in a box, it's not small. As far as our competitors, and this is just my opinion, I really don't feel there are any competitors of what we do, because nobody's doing what we do the way we do it. So there is no competition.
Man, whenever it comes to competitors, you know, this market, it's a funny market. Whenever you're looking at magazines and you know, other organizations who do things to separate themselves from other competitors, you know, it's very difficult, but we found a way with what we do internally that will not really be able to be duplicated, mainly because of the organic nature that it happens.
The market for Fame the Experience magazine is like no other. Like I said, we've kind of incorporated these 4 elements together to create this one entity. And there's, to me, as my business partner would say, William Floyd, he has this campaign, Create Over Competition. That campaign is basically saying, we're not here to compete with you, we're here to create with you. So if you want to build with us, we'll create together. So there, in my mind, there's no other publication that's in competition with us because we're in our own lane.
Fame the Experience, you know, you have a magazine that is so creative, so highly fashionable, so knowledgeable in each area. Like whether it's fashion, you got somebody that has an extensive portfolio of people that he's worked with, from celebrity all the way down to mom and pop store, you know, developed so many different things whenever it comes to video, whenever it comes to production, whenever it comes to writing. I mean, you got somebody that's in music who has worked with whoever, I mean, just worked with countless amount of people. You know what I mean? Like, you got myself, you know what I mean? Knowledgeable, you know what I mean? Done work with Mitsubishi Electric, done work with Procter & Gamble, done so many different things. So when we come together and we bring you Fame the Experience magazine, you cannot expect nothing but to be educated while being entertained.
This is what I want to leave with you all the viewers, all the readers of Fame the Experience magazine. This was a magazine publication put together by 3 young men, not to pull a race card or anything, but 3 young, successful black men who have managed to take from their industry and kind of learn the elements of being successful in those industries and coming together and collaborating with one another to create a unity and putting together a project that will basically be a statement for all those individuals who want to build a bridge between being undiscovered and being a successful talent. And we're giving you all of our resources to be successful. Everyone knows that the industry is cutthroat and it's shady, but why not give back to those who aren't educated on that? Why not help them to perfect their craft and, you know, create the next iconic figures of fashion, art, music, and education? That's what we're doing. We are creating the next iconic figures in the fashion, art, music, and education arenas.
With the process of the magazine and with Fame the Experience, the college tour, as well as now we have Fame the Experience magazine, my goal has always been to educate those who don't know, you know, how this whole fashion, art, and music world actually works. So the legacy I'd like to leave behind is that I was always about educating over making money. I mean, profits and money is good and all that, but, you know, I think that all of those things come in time, as long as you're putting out a great product and you're enjoying the process. Just enjoy the process.
Suspicion right now. There's all this horrible stuff going on, and we are literally on the edge of destroying ourselves.
Fame the Experience magazine is fashion.
Fame the Experience is art.
Fame the Experience is music.
Fame the Experience is education.
So what do we have coming up? I know me myself, like I said before, I'm working on The Road, which is a collaboration between myself and universities around Atlanta right now, but we're actually going to move on to some other schools outside of Atlanta, as well as I'm putting together my A-List tour, which is a tour that combines a couple of artists from around the Atlanta area. We have artists from different genres of music, keeping with the theme of the education and building with different demographics. That's what I have coming up.
Man, so March 6th, we gonna launch the store for Pop Culture Clothing. Of course, you know, we definitely gonna extend that overall platform to up-and-coming designers, up-and-coming artists. Another, you know, situation where, you know, you'll have independents being able to express themselves creatively. So that's pretty much what I got going on, and you know, we're just gonna continue to build with this magazine.
Myself, I'm planning a hot couture runway show. I want it to be one of the first of its kind in Atlanta. I wanted to actually put Atlanta on the map. Of course, it will be backed by Fame the Experience magazine because they will be presenting the show. I also want you guys to check out the fashion issue of Fame the Experience magazine. It will be showcasing our cover shoot and interviews and editorials with Bravo's Married to Medicine star Carrie Wells. The fashion industry will pay homage to international fashion and hot couture. So without further ado, I would like to unveil the cover of Carrie Wells to you all.
I am William Floyd.
Action CEO Rodney Simpson.
This is my boy KL Allen, and we are
Fame the
Experience
Experience
magazine.